Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. I got XRP right now on the daily. XRP trading at 0.372. Not too much activity here on the XRP chart. We are seeing a slightly elevated volume, but not too much, guys. We've still yet to see a big event that is going to catapult cryptocurrency to the upside. All cryptos are still following the king crypto Bitcoin, and over the last now it's been about a month and a half, almost 2 months actually. Over the last 2 months, let's say, we have just seen a slow grind up. So it's just been more of the same for the last couple of months. And, eventually we're going to break out of this pattern, as I've noticed on this Bitcoin chart before. We are forming what is looking like that Nike swoosh pattern that we've seen on the chart several times before a trend to the upside. So we saw it over here back in mid-2021. Another prominent one was coming out of the bear market in 2018, 2019. That first push to the upside right over there. So we can see that Nike swoosh pattern is forming here slowly but surely. It's only a matter of time before we see that move to the upside. But I think we are on the precipice, guys. I think, late 2022, early 2023, these are some timelines that analysts are focusing on, not to mention that Marin tweet from back in January of this year. If you guys didn't catch that video, an interesting prediction posted by Marin on Twitter. I will link the video that I did on that up here in the top right-hand corner. So there are a lot of reasons right now to get us quite excited and to accumulate. Like I mentioned a couple of days ago, I did accumulate some Algorand, guys. Got in at 35.5. It brought my cost average down about, was it 36, 37%, something like that. So my cost average now significantly lower than it was. And this is just it, right? If you purchased your crypto in 2021 on the way up, these are the opportunities to cost average down. These are the opportunities to add to your bags, add to your stash, whether it's XRP or, some other altcoin. Maybe it's even Bitcoin. I also recently did a video, how much XRP do you need to retire? I do one every year. If you guys didn't catch this year's edition, I will link that up here in the top right-hand corner. I also found this, guys. Now, Vin, I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys were around for the Rich List. He basically created a website that allowed us to give us an idea of what addresses were holding how much XRP and where we stacked up on the Rich List. Now, somebody else came up with the same idea. Since then, Vin did take that Rich List down. This is rich-list.info, and it's basically the same kind of thing, numbers of accounts and sums of balance range. So, for example, if you are holding, anywhere between 25,000 and 50,000 XRP, the number of XRP wallets that hold that same amount, anywhere between that amount, is 45,212, and the sum of all their balances is this. So that's a new feature here that I don't believe Vin had on his Rich List website. And so, for example, if you hold anywhere between 500,000 and 1 million XRP, only 2,048 other wallets hold that amount. And you can see here the total sum of XRP accumulated in those particular wallets. So an interesting resource here, just to give you guys a sense of where you stack up on the XRP Rich List. Even just taking a look down here, if you hold over 61,092 XRP, you are in the 1% of people holding XRP. Now, I know that doesn't even seem like a lot, but you know what? This time, the game is still relatively new and the masses have not piled in as much as we think, crypto is going mainstream. It's starting to get mainstream. It's not mainstream quite yet. And, these numbers are really going to expand, I think. Once we get that real mainstream adoption, we just got the Blackrock news the other day, which I'm also going to touch on a little today. There's some new information that I discovered. Right now, the market cap, though, is at $1.1 trillion. So we are above the $1 trillion mark. Altcoins have gained a little bit of momentum, guys. Bitcoin dominance is down to about 40%. We have not seen it down that low for a while. But overall, today looks like it's a bit of a down day, a bit of a red day for the crypto market in general. So the ebbs and flows, again, great opportunity to buy cryptocurrency. I mean, they're all down 80, 85%. I mean, you can't go wrong. Mike Manfield here bringing this to our attention. This has to do with Ripple partner Mufg Bank. They've just launched a direct lending group to support private equity clients. So Mufg Bank announced today the formation of a direct lending group that will focus on provide loans to banks' private equity sponsor clients to support their portfolio company, LBO, and recapitalization transactions. The team is led by Matt Maley. He joined back in 2018, and his new role of head of direct lending, Maley, will report to John Linsberg. Great. Here's a quote. We started a direct lending initiative in 2019 when our sponsor client approached us to finance their middle market LBOs outside of the broadly syndicated institutional market. Having completed more than 50 direct loan transactions to date, this offering has become an important tool in our toolbox, helping us grow our U.S. sponsor business to $300 million in revenue. So direct lending to institutional clients, this is what Mufg Bank is currently focusing on. Setting up a dedicated group to target a direct lending market with an end-to-end solution will enable us to meet the needs of our clients and take advantage of Mufg's $3 trillion balance sheet, one of the largest in the world. So looks like they have capital sitting around, and they want to leverage that capital, lend it out. Mufg Ripple enabled, so the lending is likely going to be a streamlined process, probably not too much friction there, depending on who they're lending out to, although Ripple is continuously building ODL corridors worldwide. And so here are just some statistics on that. I will link this in the description if you guys want to read further. Wanted to thank Mike Manfield just for posting that. And here's some more real-world utility adoption news, guys. This is coming from the Cryptic Poet here. Link 2 has completed the acquisition of XRP-powered Trustlines. This is going to move the company closer to an investment exchange built on the blockchain. So Link 2, you guys might be familiar with them. The Main Street investment platform for private technology market securities announced today that they completed their transaction of Trustline, a technology platform that delivers decentralized financial services and payments, trading and lending, and it is built on the XRP ledger. Trustline uses the cutting-edge technology to provide more efficient and cost-effective financial services. So we know Link 2, they are an investment company, and if you're an accredited investor, you can purchase stocks of certain companies that haven't gone public yet. Well, they are streamlining their process, building their trust line on the XRP ledger, and Ripple is one of those companies that you can buy stocks through Link 2 if you are accredited, of course, again. So they understand DLT technology. Obviously, they know the company Ripple. I'm sure they're very familiar with what they do, and they're taking advantage of this and building a platform on the XRP ledger. According to Link 2 founder and CEO Bill Saris, we acquired Trustline for its advanced blockchain technology and IP, including $200,000 worth of XRP grants issued from the XRPL grants program. Trustline will help us build on our vision to provide access, affordability, and liquidity to accredited investors, but the most valuable asset we acquired is the new association with Matt Rosendin, a progressive leader and thinker in the global blockchain community. With the acquisition of Trustline, Link 2 intends to accelerate its development of the first and only decentralized exchange for private market securities in the world. So these guys are the first developing on the XRPL, the first to offer private market securities globally, as they've stated here, using Trustline's proprietary technology. Link 2's exchange will be auditable, publicly transparent, and 100% on the blockchain. I feel like these guys are one of the first that are making this type of move. We are going to see more moves like this, whether it's built on the XRPL or other similar blockchains. That is still yet to be determined. There are a lot of companies that want to streamline their process. The friction is the biggest pain point, I think, in a lot of these cases. And the FX trading, right, converting from one currency to another, especially if these are global companies and they are working in all different types of currencies. Trustline is thrilled to join the innovative and groundbreaking work that Link 2 is doing in making private investing simple for individual investors who have been shut out of traditional private equity asset class. And the CEO of Trustline, he says, our two companies are perfectly aligned to democratize private markets investing for qualified investors. Interesting to say the least. Another step in the right direction, obviously, for more adoption on the XRP ledger. Link 2, again, a company that does offer pre-sales, I guess, of, or rather exclusive sales of Ripple stock specifically. So Ripple is one of those companies that they already work with. I know there are some Link 2 ambassadors too in the XRP community. So some interesting news there. Wanted to thank the Cryptic Poet for posting that. And Michael Branch here, guys, bringing this to our attention. This has to do with the Blackrock news that we got the other day. And I'm starting to think this is bigger than I originally thought, okay? So here's the latest just with this Blackrock deal. Blackrock backflips on Bitcoin as latest institution to see promise in crypto. If you guys remember this past week, we got news that Blackrock was partnering with Coinbase to offer institutional adoption for their clients. The multi-million, multi-billion dollar corporations that are going to want to start investing in cryptocurrencies. Something of a sea change. This article starts off by saying financial institutions that once turned up their noses to cryptocurrency are now figuring out ways to get access for their clients. Let me continue. BlackRock's announcement on Thursday that the world's largest asset manager will set up a spot Bitcoin trust for institutional clients in the US is another sign that traditional investment houses are coming to terms with cryptocurrency as an emerging asset class. So this is the first thing that I wanted to point out. The institutions are coming, and BlackRock is going to be the gateway for those institutions to invest. Despite the slump in the broader market, BlackRock, with roughly blah, 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 said that in a blog post that there is substantial interest, okay, from institutional clients. BlackRock follows some of the heavyweights, so then just talks about some of the people they follow. These developments are clearly very supportive of Bitcoin. So, for example, Justin Dethen, institutional sales director at digital asset trader Amber Group, told Forecast in an interview, okay, here's what he said. Thursday marks the second recent major crypto development from BlackRock. Last week, the firm announced a partnership with Coinbase to extend the use of Aladdin, their asset management software suite, to institutional clients who own digital assets through Coinbase. Here's the quote from Danathan. It's showing you a trend, arguing BlackRock's fund will push other large institutions to offer similar products for fear that they may become obsolete. So, a classic case of not wanting to be the first, but all these other institutions, BlackRock's competition, clamoring to be the second. In the coming future, you will see other fund providers or large asset managers offering investment instruments or vehicles to their different investors. The move marks a departure from BlackRock CEO Larry Fink's 2017 sentiments, where he said, Bitcoin just shows you how much demand for money laundering there is in the world. Now, here's where it gets kind of interesting, because these guys are in the know. Larry Fink is no dummy. I mean, something similar happened back in 2017. It was Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan said something similar. So along the same lines, Bitcoin is a scam, it's a Ponzi, it's something negative basically. And, fast forward to 2022, he has completely changed his tune as well. But I'm thinking that these guys knew something back then that they wanted to keep hidden. And so I wanted to bring your attention to this clip here. I did not know who this person was, but apparently her name is Mel K. This is the only information I'm getting here. She speaks out about BlackRock. She gives us some history about Larry Fink. And so let me just play you this clip. Some of it you guys probably already know, but I think it does kind of give context to what we're seeing today with regards to this crypto adoption and the trepidatious nature of approaching crypto adoption. Anyway, I'm going to play you guys this clip, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it.
Well, what people don't know about Larry Fink and BlackRock, and that he owns 90% of America and most of the pensions, is that Larry Fink thought that he was going to be Hillary Clinton's Treasury Secretary. And he set it up during the Obama administration to be just that. And then Donald Trump won. In the meantime,
thank God.
Larry Fink, where'd he go? Not just running all of the money in America, not just opening the only fund allowed by the CCP in China, that American money through BlackRock is being invested in the trillions, but he also joined the board of the World Economic Forum and became the architect of the Build Back Better bill.
Wow.
And guess what else? In January 2019, he summoned Joe Biden to his office. Joe Biden was at the bottom of the heap for all the people running for the Democratic Party. Within 2 weeks, everyone backed down, and Joe Biden was in the lead.
And so a little bit of insight on Larry Fink, how powerful he is. We knew he was connected to the World Economic Forum. I did not know, though, that he was one of the primary architects of the Build Back Better bill. So that's an interesting kind of spin to put on this. We also should be following Larry Fink's track record. Now, even just over the last couple of weeks, I've done a few videos now relating to BlackRock and XRP. Like, for example, just this past week, we had Kathy Wood saying that, the BlackRock effect will bring trillions of dollars to the crypto market. 4 days ago, I talked about this guy here and how BlackRock hired the co-creator of the XRP calculator that was created back in 2018. His name is Robert Mitchnick, and along with Susan Athey, he created the XRP calculator projecting a future price. And so back in 2018, I think, or 2019, BlackRock hired this guy specifically. 6 days ago, we found an interesting blog post here from a BlackRock VP, the VP of BlackRock in the UK. And he said that XRP and other utility coins will take the market by storm once we eventually see that real world utility, that adoption. And then back down here, 12 days ago, we have a clip of Larry Fink telegraphing, basically describing exactly how XRP, not naming it, of course, but describing exactly how XRP is going to be utilized in an economic ecosystem, a new financial system that is going to be created. So a lot of different interesting BlackRock and World Economic Forum connected videos here that I have done just by happenstance over the last week or two. So I will link my main page here if you guys want to check on these, because I cannot actually link all of them in the top right-hand corner. YouTube only allows me to, I think they only allow me to connect 3 or 4, something like that. So it's the Kathy Wood video here, the Robert Mitchnick video here, and then there was, right up here, it was this CEO, I forget his name now, but he was saying how the utility of these coins are really going to explode. And then there's Larry Fink himself describing XRP, or the XRP use case specifically, in a video interview. So we have a setup for real world utility. What's with this Bitcoin trading though? Another interview here with Larry Fink from Documenting Bitcoin. Okay, here he's talking to Mark Carney. Now, Mark Carney was the former head at the Bank of Canada and the former head at the Bank of England. Listen to what Larry Fink says about the popularity of Bitcoin once BlackRock made this announcement.
And now, related to Bitcoin, one of my important investors was on one of the television shows the last few days, and he spoke about Bitcoin and two of, one, monetary policy, 2, and 3, COVID. The hits on BlackRock's on our website was 3,000 on COVID, 3,000 hits on a monetary policy, and 600,000 hits on Bitcoin. So what that tells you is Bitcoin has caught the attention and the imagination of many people. Many people are fascinated about it. Many people are excited about it. But it's still untested. It's still a pretty small market relative to other markets. It can be, we see these big giant movements every day. It's a thin market. And so can it evolve into a global market? Possibly. Certainly by evidence of the imagination of so many who want to learn about it or interested in about it, to me is a very telling sign. Another good example why understanding big data, like how many hits and all that, really is a defining statement. And so we look at it as something is real, but it's still untested. It still has many. We have to go through many markets to see if it's going to be permanently real, or it's going to be a variant of that sometime in the future.
Although BlackRock has opened the gates for institutional investors to invest in Bitcoin, you can hear Larry Fink here. He's saying, yeah, we know it's popular. 600,000 hits for Bitcoin, whereas the beer flu only got 3,000, and even monetary policy only got about 3,000. He's saying the popularity of Bitcoin on their website has blown all those other search inquiries out of the water. Yet he's still very careful about what he says about Bitcoin. We don't know if it's going to be a big market. We're still investigating how we're going to implement this, all this other stuff. So on the one hand, yes, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. On the other hand, we're still trying to figure it out, and we don't know how big this crypto market is going to be. I feel like, now this is my personal opinion, I feel like he is putting up a bit of a shield here, staying very guarded about the popularity of cryptocurrency, because I think that these guys know how big cryptocurrency really is going to get. He doesn't want to make those statements publicly for fear of the masses, the plebes, you and I, retail investors, investing in cryptocurrency, buying up now while the market is low, because let's not forget, this is all happening when the market's low. So this could backfire on him. It could be that he's making these kinds of statements. Retail investors are not going to be interested anyway, just because, the market's low. It's down 75, 80% for Bitcoin particularly, and altcoins are down even more. So the market's low. He might be taking a chance and stating these kinds of things. However, the smart ones, the ones that realize this is the time to buy, they look at the BlackRock news and they think to themselves, themselves, wow, BlackRock's getting into the game, I should be loading up on cryptocurrencies. And so is he trying to mitigate the excitement over BlackRock and cryptocurrencies with this kind of tone of, well, we don't know, it could be a big market, it might not be. You know, the uncertainty, I think, is palpable. And for people who are reading between the lines, this could be very lucrative. Now, some other things that I wanted to bring up. The UN is in bed with the World Economic Forum. I think we already know that. Here's what they published, okay? Policy recommendations for developing countries on how to curb the spread of risks of cryptocurrencies and stablecoins. The list includes taxes on trading, banning institutions from holding, prohibiting social media ads, and more. This is coming from Patrick Hansen here on Twitter. Recommendation 1, making the use of crypto less attractive through strict regulation, taxes, banning institutions from offering services or holding crypto for clients, and regulating DeFi's more centralized entry points. Recommendation number 2, restricting or prohibiting ads of crypto exchanges or wallets in public spaces or on social media, expanding the scope of regulation beyond traditional media. Number 3, creating a public payment system to serve as a public good and potential alternative such as CBDCs. So you can see the UN here very, very deliberately trying to make it so that crypto is not so attractive to us plebes. So let's keep going here. Number 5, no, this hasn't passed unnoticed, and it is no coincidence that 15 of the top 20 economies by crypto adoption are developing countries. And it is encouraging to see the UN at least note crypto's 2 main use cases in these countries. Fast and cheap remittances, which is specifically an XRP use case, and an inflation hedge, which I'm sure a lot of people are investing in Bitcoin right now as a hedge against inflation. And the list of countries are here, Ukraine being the number 1 on the list, Russia, Venezuela, Singapore, Kenya, the United States, India, South Africa, Nigeria, Colombia, Vietnam, Thailand, and the list goes on. I will link this in the description if you guys want to read further. And in their defense, one cannot deny that crypto bears significant challenges for these economies, i.e. Financial stability or monetary substitution. It is by no means a simple topic, but it is really astonishing to see how the UN Conference on Trade and Development doesn't even recognize the massive humanitarian and financial benefits that crypto brings to these economies and underpins the evident massive demand. Well, I think it's because the UN just sees us as wanting to make money, which for all intents and purposes, this is why we're in cryptocurrency. And so if they want us to stay poor, if they want us to stay reliant on our government, well, they've got to put some of these measures in place in order for that to happen, right? Otherwise, we are just going to get rich, buy low, sell high, and you'll have more people on the planet with more money, which is exactly the opposite of what the World Economic Forum wants for us. This on the heels of the sheep waking up, guys. Michael Branch bringing this to our attention. So the World Economic Forum's Great Reset agenda continues to get significant pushback from critics. Basically, this article is just stating how much more popular this is becoming, or rather how much more exposure the Great Reset has gotten into mainstream media. 2 years ago, you were to tell somebody this, they would have said it was a conspiracy. Fast forward to today, I'm getting calls on my phone from people who, we talked about the Great Reset 2 years ago, and they looked at me like I had 3 heads. Now they're asking me more about it. So I think because this is becoming more mainstream, the World Economic Forum is likely getting a little worried because their Great Reset was, or at least they were trying to portray it in a positive light. Everybody here, not everybody yet, but a lot of people are waking up, realizing this is not good for humanity. So now when I see guys like Larry Fink and Blackrock promoting Bitcoin, it's got me questioning what are their true motives? How should we think about this? The great thing, though, is that nowhere ever do they mention XRP, and I think the actions speak louder than words. I don't want them to mention XRP because I feel like it would be a trap. As soon as they mention Ripple and XRP, this would inevitably trigger the retail adoption, or not so much the retail adoption, but more the retail FOMO purchasing, the exact thing that they don't want. So the fact that the XRP community is following BlackRock, what they're doing based on their actions specifically, I think that gives us a leg up as XRP holders. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.